Oh, I need you to set up your computer so I can see what's going on. Oh, I need you to set up your computer so I can see what's going on. I need you to set up your computer so I can see what's going on. Turn the volume on. That's my bracelet. That's my bracelet. All right, everybody, let's start the show. Who's on today? So I might look a little over to the left just because I have to have a separate scene in order to see all the comments. It's just how they're set up right now. They don't have it where you can see everything and view the comments at the same time. Got to get it together, YouTube. Hey, who's on? It's M. Brown. Hello. Hey, everybody. Let's start the show. Who's on today? Let's see. We got Terrence William. We got the Mexican Chloe. You were on last time. That's cool. You want to stay into the Q&A at the end. I got you. I'd say too. It was good last time. Let me go. 215 car keys. Don't be like BP and start selling everything at the beginning, please. I'll sell as just stay for the training, and you will get everything that you want to get. But always remember, you can exercise the option to leave when you'd like. All right. So don't forget to exercise that option. Otherwise, stay to the end because it's going to be worth it. No audio, Lisa. Okay. Can't hear me? Okay. Let's see. How about now? How about now? Can you guys hear me? Oh, you can hear me now? Lola, can you hear me? This just keeps... Okay, good. Now, everyone can hear me. Okay, hello, Derek. Oh, Mexican Chloe, you're David. I didn't know that. I thought I'd see David Ing. Let's see, Decory, Nissan, thank you. Benjamin Blackburn, Terrence, got you. George Rivers, Eric Reed. Who else is here? Ronald Burton. Hello, hello. Who is Murdy Molana? As I mentioned, I'll be looking to the right to see this other screen so I can see the comments because they just don't have it where you can see it on YouTube yet, right? So, okay, thank you. You can hear me now. Thank you. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for attending today. There are 13 of you watching. Thank you for giving me this time. Don't worry, you are going to want to stay to the end, all the way to the end, so I can give you a nice little gift today. You are going to like it. If you follow me this long, you sort of know what I'm about. This is going to be a little twist on it, on things that you thought I was going to say, but I'm not, because things change. The real estate industry has changed. Hold on, I have to... Little baby bird. Okay, there she goes. There's my little baby bird. She just turned 1 year old. She's going for a run with daddy right now. Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah, let's get started. I just wanted to see who was on. Make sure you can hear me. I'm going to really start it. You guys are going to like this. I try to make this as entertaining as possible, so it's not just me blind at you, making it worth your time. All right. Lola, let me know if everything's going okay. Give me a little type in the screenshot when you can. With that, let's start. Hey, as you guys saw, I am wanting to do a little training on how to invest in real estate without having a family fortune, right? Okay, so let's get started with this because it's not exactly what you think, but a lot of basically every advice that you've gotten has assumed that you can get started in real estate, but you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars. That isn't in your head. It's literally the advice has been given to you, has been treating you as if you literally have huge pockets, like you have thousands of dollars, or you have friends with thousands of dollars, or your parents have thousands of dollars, right? Because that's the only way their advice really makes sense. And I'm going to get into that and more deep into it. So it's not just about low price properties and investments, but it's also about knowing when people are giving you advice, who's giving you that advice and where that advice is coming from. Okay? So that is what this is about. And I 100% think you need to sit and listen to the end so you can get all this and understand what the nuances and the differences are. So this is, I'm going to tell you how I created over $2,500 in passive income. That's not going to include my active Airbnb rental because then it goes up to $3,700 a month, but through real estate investing, which you guys are all interested in. It's modest, but that's more than what a lot of people make. And if you have a job and make that on the side, you live a very, very comfortable life on your way to even do more than that. So the real story is I went from a foreclosure, being laid off twice, to earning thousands a month in real estate for less than most people pay for their cars. You know that. So some people are driving a souped up Lexus. Sorry, I can't do that because I literally look at that and go, I can have a cash flowing property if you know, using the systems that I've created. So who this webinar is for? You see on the right where it says The Rock isn't impressed. You read all those online articles and you still haven't made a move. That's who this is for. Because I think on some hand, the reason it didn't work, and I'll get deeper into this later, is because that advice just didn't work for you. You see that standard cookie cutter advice, but you're like, how does that make sense? I only have $50,000. How does that make sense to put it on a $250,000 house? How does that make sense for me? I know it makes sense for someone with $500,000 in the stock market. I even heard someone say that before. They were like, I saw someone giving a webinar and they were like, hey, I think Brandon turned on Bigger Pockets. I love Bigger Pockets. And he had 50,000 and he was like, hey, let's put it down on a condo because, they were like, hey, Brandon, why would I put $50,000 on a condo for 250 and get 8% return or cash on cash return? If mind you, the people who follow me and do what I do, we get 30% return on investment. And his answers was basically the answer that resonated, and it was an honest answer, and it is the answer for the method that they show. His answer was, well, if you have $500,000 in the stock market, well, 50,000 to earn 8% is better than 2, possibly 3, if not losing in the stock market. Okay. Do you guys hear that? You guys understand that? That's nothing ill-intentioned. They're not ill-intended with that advice. They're simply stating a truth. The way that they teach real estate investing, it is best if you're going to do buy and hold if you have a lot of money in the bank. So this is a better use of your funds, right? So the advice isn't necessarily for people who only have $50,000, because who would put it into a high price condo that gives them $200-300 a month? Now I'm going slow because I want that to sink in. I'm basically saying all that advice out there is good advice, but you have to make sure they're talking to you. And if you don't have $500,000 in the bank, if you can't ask your mom for an $80,000 loan, if you don't have friends who are willing to give you $50,000 for your first venture, then that advice doesn't work for you. It works for other people. And trust me, there are people who have that sort of friends and connections. But I'm telling you, I don't in my community. A lot of my friends and our associates, we're the first ones to go to college. We're the first ones with a white collar job, so making a little bit more than what our parents made. And the little bit of money we have, we're not that comfortable where we can just go, hey, here's $30,000 on a venture for something we don't know what to do. You want to know why? Because our bounce back isn't that easy. We don't have, just tons of money in which we can just use and fall back on, or I lose it all, well, I can get it again. And not that everyone does, but you got to understand, if you don't, when they're telling you that's all you don't need money, but you need networks and connections. You got to make sure you have those networks and connections. And I can be quite honest and say I don't. So that's definitely who this webinar is for. It's also bigger than money. Sometimes you want to do more than just earn money or go into a sub-30K income. Some of you guys want to make a real difference in this world. I want to make a real difference in this world. Okay? I want to impact communities that look just like mine that I came from. And I think it's up to people who come from these communities like me and you to do the fixing. Or someone who cares about that, a community just as much as me and you, to go in there and help turn it around. So people aren't just doing this for money. I work and coach with people, and I get to their why when I talk to them. And I'll hear things like, I really want to make a difference. I want to give stability. I want to give affordable housing. I want to bring in this so that people have a chance. So they have stability so they can finally work to be stress-free. They can be treated as equals in this society. They won't be that second-class citizen that no one says they are, but they feel like. They can climb those ladders of class and socioeconomics to a different level and maybe have access to a different variety of resources. Okay? It's also for people who've been looking for more details on how to operate real estate business so you genuinely don't lose your money. Okay? Because you can do a lot of things, but houses are money pits. I don't care if it's a $30,000 house or a $400,000 house. You can spend money on top of money on top of money and still be off, not be successful. You lose, game over. So that's why people want details, because they know they are not going to get into it. I know for my own house, there's like the house cost that I live in is $170,000. It's a decent, good house. There are literally $170,000 worth of repairs that I would like to do. So houses can take money and take your money and take your money and be a big pit. And that's why people need more details. So on the right, The Rock isn't impressed because you went to all those investing seminars and still haven't made money. I don't even want you to feel bad that he's not impressed, because don't be impressed, because maybe you were getting advice that didn't work for people like you. And that's what this webinar is for. So if you want to make the same amount of money you do now, but from home, so that can be with your kids and family more, as a first-time parent, I know how that just changes everything in your life. This is for you. Any of those sounding familiar? Because that was me not too long ago, as you well know. I was very open about it. So just to check in, can everybody hear me? Is everything clear? Lola, are we doing okay? Benjamin, Derek, DeCory? Hey, Derek, I'm going to do a Q&A at the end, and we can get to the wholesaling versus rental property versus flipping. All right, so if you stay to the end, we'll get to that. I usually do an hour of Q&A. All right, you got it? Ronald, Benjamin, David, Eric. I'm glad some of you guys are back here for the second time. I think that's sort of amazing too. So thank you. It was good the first time. Let's get it around the second time, because we really need to get these issues out there. We need to be very clear, and we need to understand exactly where we go from here. And that's what this is for. All right. Okay, you can hear me? I'm good. George Rivera. Thanks, George. Benjamin. Yes, thank you, thank you. Rebecca. Thank you, Miss Stepner. Thank you for coming. Glad to see you. All right, good. All right, let's keep on going. So I want you to stay until the end, and I'll personally email you access to a step-by-step checklist. This is the same checklist. This isn't a stupid freebie. This is the same checklist that my clients follow when I work with them. It is step by step by step. It tells you what every aspects that you need to look for. It's an Excel document, and you can even organize it by who's responsible, what dates that you did it, and sort of use it in your business so that you make sure that you're doing everything that you need to. So that'll be emailed, and I'll post a link where you can get that as soon as the webinar is over. We'll post it in the comments. Okay. All right. So I know that little kid looks skeptical. That's my favorite little meme because he just looks. So I'll be honest. I'm not here to impress you. In fact, I usually go out of my way to tell so much truth and honesty. I don't know about impress is the word for it. It's just being real. I do care about happiness, both yours and mine, and the world at large, to be quite honest. You'll see on the next couple of slides, I want to tell you what my big mission is. And literally at the end of it is for happiness. Because I've been poor and happy. I've been middle class and happy. I've been a middle class and cash flowing real estate investor happy. And I know it's something that if everyone can get this, I literally think the world will be a different place. And if you can start in these very low price properties, there's going to be a transformative shift in this country. And I want you to be a part of it. And yes, this is big and it's doable. And it's the first time we're talking about it. I care about showing people who I am and the truth. I care about helping you invest in rental properties now, as soon as possible. And I do care about making sure you know what to do, because Sub30k is great, but you need to do it thoughtfully, mindfully, know what you're doing. Because I see a lot of people posting in the groups and it's a hot mess. Okay. So we don't want that to be you, especially when you don't have to be, you have so many people you can trust. So this is about you, bigger than money, becoming respected, right? Look at that little kid winning. I love this meme too. I'm a meme girl, right? This is about being respected, because out of all of my degrees, all of the places I've worked, what I've accomplished as far as what's on paper and your CV, right? Your curriculum vitae. Yeah, it says electrical engineer, right? Good. It's impressive. It taught me how to be very systematic. Worked for IBM, Deloitte, Accenture, you name it. I worked for it. Name a contractor, name a government agency, right? But all of that doesn't mean anything. The thing that has brought me the most respect in my life has being a landowner, not just that, being successful at real estate investing. So it has, none of those other titles meant anything, but being an investor, owning 6 properties that make money, not this BS that they're telling you about that doesn't make any sense unless you have $500 million in the stock market. But being an investor that makes money and with the system and can explain it to other people and can teach it, that has literally brought me more respect in my life than anything else I have accomplished. Okay. And in this country, that's just what makes you equal. So I've always, had issues with, I was an engineer when I was young, and I'm this young Black female, and I always felt out of place because I was representative of so many, the female being Black, just so many different items. I was the only one in, and I would always worry, would they give me my respect, because I am intelligent. I do know what I'm doing, but blow that all out the water. Real estate investing and being able to show other people how to do it has brought me more respect in all of it. So I can go into a room with people with all these suits on, and other people would be intimidated. But I know as soon as I tell them about my real estate investing strategy and what I've accomplished, even though it's not 20, even though it's a small number, but I've done it right and it's logical and it makes sense and it's been ignored, that has given me more respect. So when I say this, I want you to understand that it's not always about the money. And I really want to switch that conversation. It's about being respected in this country in a way some of us feel like we can never get, even though we work very hard. And it's something I want you guys to just draw on the forefront. Talk about the respect you get as an investor amongst your friends, families, and others. So that's what this is about. So let me be clear. And I say this tongue in cheek. It's not a guru commercial with stereotypical characters and Hawaiian shirts. We're going to be talking about some real issues. So I hope you can take how honest this is going to be. I hope you can see it with an open mind. Some of you guys are going to be from my community and understand exactly and instinctively and intuitively what I'm talking about. Other people will not be, but that doesn't mean that you won't understand. You probably will. And sometimes you'll feel it stronger than other people because you've experienced both your reality and someone else's. And don't get me wrong, those guru infomercial with the guy in the Hawaiian shirts, let me tell you, they got me wanting to invest in real estate. Okay, so there is nothing wrong with those. All right. It's just, I'm not going to go that way. We're just going to be brutal honest. But I'm not hating on those too much because those made me sit up and go, I want to be a real estate investor. So, you know what? As much as they want to make fun of that on BP, give it up for giving us all the dream. And that dream is what have us here today. All right. So this isn't about fast money, but it is about real money and getting there as quickly as possible, thoughtfully, mindfully, and knowing what you're doing like a boss. So who is Lisa Phillips? Some of you guys know, and some of you guys just saw that I was going live and jumped on. All right. Now, I am married. Married for 2 years, although I've been dating him for 7 years. And if you guys watch my YouTube videos, you might have seen the start off where I'm like, oh, I have a boyfriend. He went to Afghanistan. Oh, I got flowers. Oh, I'm married. So ladies, if you want to get a man, start a blog. It helps, make you somebody. I have one daughter. She just turned 1 year old. I love that little baby. She looks like her dad, but she acts like mom. So I can't wait to add her part of my business and part of the real estate investing. All right. The genetics are changing as we speak because of this. I currently live in Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm very passionate about helping people, but not just helping. I'm not necessarily just giving you food, right? I'm about helping people financially. That's literally why I've been put on this earth. But I go a little bit towards the feminine energy, and I will get tarot readings. I'll go to energy healers because that is just as fundamental to me and my business as the logical, the systems, and the structures. And every single one was like, you got business, merchant class business skills, and you're here to inspire people financially. So for people to look at me and my mistakes, what I have done, and go, I can do that. Now, sometimes I get a little bit like, you have to look at me and see I did it and go, oh, she did it, I can. So my ego hurts a little bit, but that's the reality. Like, respect me. But in general, that's okay because I've been put here. I can take that. I'll take all the negative because I'll take all of it for me putting myself out there, for me daring to tell people to do sub 30K, for me putting it in your face about this subclass and that you should be doing it. You shouldn't be ashamed of it and taking all those fights. I'll do that, right? As long as it gets you going. I have a leader I can follow and I can do this too. And it gets you started on your real estate investing career because that's what it's about. I literally feel I've been put here on this earth to do it and I do it really well. All right. You'll see at the end, inspiring people to act financially, I think is literally the cause of so many issues in this country. Number one for divorce, number one for happiness. That is why I think financially is what you need to figure out because it's just such a big part of our life. I'm a founder of Affordable Real Estate Investments, which is an educational online platform teaching people how to invest in real estate without losing money, saving time, coaching them and mentoring one-on-one. And a founder of Happy House Real Estate. Happy House is my real estate investing arm where my rental properties are managed through. I'm also a speaker, coach, and author. So my big vision when I started as a Black woman from the inner city was I wanted to help 10,000, and I still do. I want to help 10,000 Black investors positively impact 10,000 Black neighborhoods. Now, does that mean if you're not Black, you need to leave? No, not unless you're uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, the majority of these neighborhoods and these working class neighborhoods and lower income neighborhoods, at the end of the day, 85% of them can be African American, right? And most of the people who are on this website now came from working class backgrounds like I did. And they need someone to go in and help them out and change it. But who better to go back than someone who lived it? I don't go back into these neighborhoods going, I want to flip it and move you out. Because a lot of people do. That's their idea. The only thing they can see is useful for this lower income Black neighborhood is to gentrify it and move people out. There is no other way. I instinctively come completely different. It's for people like me who live it, who goes, no, we want to rejuvenate. We want to renovate. We want to take care of it. We want to have leadership in here, but we don't want to push people out. I want to positively impact this community. And if I get 10,000 Black investors to go to 10,000 Black communities and impact them positively, I literally think every single one of those little 10,000 microcosms can change the country. And I've already started. At this point, I think from all the YouTube feedback and Facebook feedback, I think we're in the hundreds of people who we have helped, who have inspired to go back to their own communities. That's an amazing thing. I think if that happens, I think 10 years from now, not only will we have more happiness for people at the lower level who never were passed down these educational skills because of our history in this country in America, but also we're just going to change the mindset on money. And I want it to be where if anyone goes into a lower income neighborhood, the people in the sub 30K world, be it Black or white or whoever's on that Facebook group, you ask us first about how you do it. You need to come to us because we own the land. Do you know what I mean? So all of a sudden we parlay a little differently. We have a steward. We are stewards over these neighborhoods collectively. And so as stewards, when someone comes to us and say they want to renovate and it's a gentrify versus renovate conversation, we now have a culture and community of people who know what we're doing. So that is my big goal. I literally think when all these different Black communities that are on the lower income range are shown that leadership and stewardship, I think we'll have more happiness overall. And the people who line their pockets and learn how to create flat cash flow and be an investor and landowner, but you'll also have happiness in these communities knowing that they're being taken care of by someone that they can at least trust minimally to keep out for their best interest. So that's a big goal. And I do not back down from that. I really want that from everyone. And so don't get me wrong. I have people in my Facebook group who are not Black investors. They are in Black neighborhoods and they're doing a great job. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're all welcome. We can all be stewards in here because no one can do everything by themselves. But that is my overarching goals. And I think it's a great one for people like us to watch our own communities. Okay. So I've experienced good, bad, and ugly through all of this. Okay. And throughout all of this, I want to show you all of it. So I'll show you what I've been through. It's not all cookies and creams, folks. So the good, I like the good. I've had some great wins. This was me speaking on stage at the REI Expo. I have a really good relationship with them where I promote their items and I can speak on stage, and it's always good. The first time I had 60 investors of all levels and incomes. I mean, very high end to low. Sit there and listen to every word I said about how to go about investing in these price ranges. It was very validating for me because when looking at my own circle, they're like, "What neighborhoods are you going in?" So it was always really nice to have that happening. So that one was one really big win. Now, Huffington Post. I was trying to get into this magazine for like 2 years. I got on the online article, and because all of my colleagues online are in Huffington Post, I'm like, when's it my turn? So this was a huge win because I was feeling for it for 2 years. It just didn't happen, and finally it did. I worked it so hard to get it done. So that was a really big win for me to get in the Huffington Post because it's the mainstream recognition that this isn't some little side niche or some side project. Now, who do we have here? This was a win. This was my first retreat. And one of my energy healers was like, I think you need to start taking this on the road. So this was my first. And then I did another one in Pasadena. And I love going and meeting everybody face to face. That is my passion. I'm good at it. I'm good at helping others. They love it because I wine them and dine them. I treat them like VIPs because I know what it means for this to happen to people like us. It's the first time we've had the experience, so I make it. And these are the people who came to my first one. Some of those are my coaching clients. Some I met that for the first time when they came to 2 days at my house. That's the limo car we took to go out to eat because I do that with everyone who comes to my private retreats at my home. And it was just great. The love and energy and atmosphere. It was wonderful. So on to that 10,000, as I said. This was my first away game. This was in Pasadena. It was Investing Out of State workshop. Loved it. Had fun. I'll do way better with my decorating skills later on. I'm still getting new at this, but I absolutely win. There's nothing more I love more now than just traveling and meeting people on the road. So those are some wins right now on what we're doing. But, everyone has some fails, okay? And they're not always easy to talk about, but they have to be. So all of this started because I had a foreclosure, okay? Yeah. I was young, out of college. I was in Vegas. All the prices were rising. So I was like, yeah, let me buy this $400,000 house. It'll be 600,000 a year from now. Now, was that crazy? In general, yes. Had we've seen appreciation like that in Vegas before I purchased? In 2006, you did. From 2001 to 2006, you went saw houses go from 80,000 to 500,000. So it wasn't crazy, but it was a bubble and it popped. First lesson. And all of that started the Sub30k thing because I couldn't get a traditional loan, but I had some cash saved up from my 401k. So that's where I took $20,000 and made it work. Right. And that's how this started. I was like, how do I create a system? Fail. So look, I'm an IT professional, but you get laid off, right? It doesn't matter how cool you are. For certain people will always win. Other people, maybe not so much. Okay. So for me, it was, 18 months. I'm getting laid off. I have to find another job. Or I quit because I don't like how things are being ran. Or I get fired because they don't like how I run things. And in the end, I can get another job, but it's just this over and over rotation. And, my husband now at the time, I think he's been through 3 or 4 jobs. And he was just like, Lisa, you can't, why are you coming home again talking about we need to find another job. We can't keep doing this. And I was okay because I had a skill set that I could get another job. But, how many times do you want to flip, keep talking about why did you leave that job and go, oh, the contract ended. Oh, just keep making stuff up, of course, through the interview. It gets tiring. But I'm not special. Before creating my real estate investing system, I'd been successful in business. I mean, successful, I say, because I earned a paycheck, but I wasn't happy. So that's why the quotes. I think success comes with happiness. So I was making 6-figure. I was an independent IT contractor. I had come from nothing, right? You guys all know my story. In fact, I think I'm too open about how working class my life was. But I think I had to live that lower income neighborhood, having the mindset that I did in order to do what I'm doing now. So I guess, I thank my parents for that. Now, as a mature adult looking back. But even as an IT consultant, I was playing life smaller. So I was safe in that role, but not happy. And I put up with that for a long time. I didn't like, it was a very male dominated field. And I just happened to get like the worst ones, the ones who want to argue for 8 hours a day, tons of pride, not the smartest, but you couldn't say anything above them because they fiercely want to battle it. So I just wasn't happy, even though I was making money. I was hungry to get out my situation. I don't play corporate politics that well. Some of you guys, you know how to play it from the womb. Others, like me, look, I'm a working class girl. Some people would call ghetto before I got a little shine and became a consultant, maybe learned how to watch. But, we say what's on our mind. We laugh at ourselves. We laugh at other people. We laugh at life. And there were just certain things that I did with my working class background as going into corporate America was definitely that of upper class mannerisms. The type upper class mannerisms and social class that I've learned now that I wish I knew then was, you don't tell people what they're doing wrong. You just hope they figure it out themselves and don't embarrass themselves too badly. Well, I just got embarrassed. So, or, people would quietly walk away when I said something I thought was funny. And I'm like, what, was that politically incorrect? And, it's just, that's my background. I don't even think my background's wrong. There is something refreshing about where I come from. We just say what's on our mind and we're real, but we accept people faster and you're not as phony and fake. You're a little bit more real. So I love that I do come from that, but I do understand in the corporate and upper class world that I was entering into that no one wanted to mentor me in, and it was hard to find a mentor, that just wasn't working. So I have all these, sort of painful, embarrassing experiences no one wants to explain, but it was the only way I knew to make money. It was the only path I knew that was clear. Get a degree, do this, get the interview, land the job, get the money. It was the only way to make money. So you're stuck like this girl in prison, but you want to get out. So that's what you said by playing it safe and playing it small. You're unhappy, but it's the only way you know. There was always the idea of going into business on your own, but it was hard to do when you don't have a model of someone who's successful that you could talk to. And I didn't have any model of successful businessmen who were I knew personally, So this was during a time just bad when I was doing this, and I was unemployed twice when I had my foreclosure, and I couldn't afford to keep that house, which was overpriced and where I was living in Ohio, and no money coming in. So I lost it. And also during this time when I had a foreclosure, people were losing 700,000 jobs a month. Okay. I'd sent out hundreds of applications, no replies. Electrical engineering degree didn't matter. Doesn't matter if she's smart. IBM didn't matter. Okay. This was just the job market. You see, these are hundreds of thousands, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 600,000, 800,000 jobs lost. This was when I had my foreclosure, and this was when I couldn't find a job. I was seeing this every day. It was scary, okay? Not knowing another paycheck, savings going down. I'm in Central Ohio, hundreds of thousand jobs lost. So here, I want to do this for you. Let me pause this. All right, Lola, you let me know if you can hear everything okay.
Now, breaking news here. Stocks all around the world are tanking because of the crisis on Wall Street.
The crash of September 2008 brought the largest bankruptcies in world history, pushed over 30 million people into unemployment, and brought many countries to the edge of insolvency.
Consequences of this financial crisis have been grim also. 27 million Americans who are either out of work, can't find full-time work, or stop looking for work. Millions who have lost their homes, and millions more who are in the foreclosure process.
There were over 1 million home foreclosures, the greatest share in California. 2 years later, the foreclosure rate is still increasing. Construction worker John Kesnick is helping the family move out on the foreclosure deadline, piling their belongings onto the sidewalk. He too has been out of work for months. After being foreclosed, many former homeowners have no place to go and fall into despair. Some have to sleep in their cars. Single mothers Nicole O'Connor and Audrey Schreiber have just found places in the St. John's Women's Shelter in Sacramento. Both had been living in their cars for weeks with their children. Audrey has also been battling cancer.
So for the month before I came here, me and the 2 kids were living out of my van. Yeah, and that's scary.
Not many places you could park a car overnight.
Being a woman by yourself.
You've got security running around going, you're not supposed to park here. So where are you supposed to go? And, you're single woman, pregnant, 7 months pregnant, and you're like, where do I go?
From Ohio Rise.
Marcy Kaptur went to the U.S. House of Representatives and told Americans to fight back against foreclosures, even by resisting the sheriffs.
What I'm telling people right now is stay in your homes. If the American people, anybody out there is being foreclosed, don't leave. You be squatters in your own homes. Don't you leave. In Ohio and Michigan and Indiana and Illinois and all these other places where our people are being treated like cattle.
This is how I felt every night. So, all fun and games aside, I was watching this every single day. I was stuck in the middle of Ohio. That was a horrible job market. I couldn't find any work. It wasn't good, okay? So, foreclosure in the midst of all this, can't get a job in the midst of all this. People were losing their jobs. And I don't know if you guys forgot about this, right? You guys might be really comfortable, but I brought this back because all of this started from a very uncomfortable time, very scary time, a really sad time around this country. And not every demographic has gotten over it. Yeah, there's some white collar jobs that came back, but kids couldn't find jobs out of college with all the student loan. So that was a very, very fierce time financially in this country. Okay, so that's where all this comes from. So here's the ugly, and that was bad, it sparked everything, but here's the ugly. So what was really ugly was this. If you guys look on Bigger Pockets, when I came out with the Sub30k thing, or talk about Lorton gossip, neighborhoods and the Sub30k moniker came about to sort of make it cute. and I just ran with it. Newbies, take note. You shouldn't buy houses for $30,000. All right. There was a lot of these out there. People were coming out the woodwork, and you really got to see the real deal about bigger pockets. And I got to say, maybe it's not for everybody. If you're uncomfortable in these neighborhoods, you never stepped foot in a neighborhood, if you think every single one of these neighborhoods are bad because that's your experience and you never lived it or stepped over there, well, then maybe you shouldn't invest over there. But the other half of the coin is that I did live in that neighborhood. They're not all that scary. I can read them intuitively and figure them out. So where's my advice? So the messenger does matter. If the person talking to you expects you to get $80,000, $50,000, $20,000 for your first property from a friend or family member, that's different than someone like me who doesn't expect you to have that because I did it. And we just had to hustle it up in other ways that are legal and legit, but just hardcore and strategic. And so you're just going to get a different level of advice that's more fitting for you. So I'm doing this to make a difference in the life of others. All these people are, that 10,000 person goal, I literally think I'm at 200 now. Okay, so I'm checking them off. There's Portia, there's Ken, there's Stan, there's David, there's Kiki, there's Rochelle, there's Joan. Just so many people have gotten their start, and it's amazing. And every single one of their stories is very similar and mirrors mine. So I want you to understand something very, very important. This webinar is about you. It's about your real estate investments. It's about you slaying in the real estate game, not just buying something and a purchase. Because I hear just today, someone's like, I bought a tax lien, but we thought it had a house and it didn't. And what do I do? And it's like, that wasn't an investment. You just went out and gambled. You might as well have taken your money to, Las Vegas and put it all on black. We're investors. If you're just buying something that doesn't make any sense or you don't know what the returns are, that's not an investment. You're doing something, but you don't get respect for that. You don't pass down a legacy for that. Okay. This webinar is about you getting your dream, that dream of cash flow, retirement, savings, wealth, respect, creation out of your head and in your bank account. Basically, I want to help you get your first cash flow rental properties for the least amount of money possible. You can do this regardless of your background or where you came from. I'm living proof, and I love being that living proof for you. Or any limiting stories you tell yourself or others have told you that keep you from succeeding. Now, to give you the goods. To understand, this is what I want to teach you today. You guys may know that there are real estate investments that can bring you monthly income that cost less than $30,000. That cost less than $40,000. And you know what? Some of them are terrible, horrible. And you definitely shouldn't buy some of them. Some of the things you guys have been buying are like, ugh, all right? Just because it's cheap doesn't mean you need to buy it. And that's what a lot of people don't get when they get so excited. Because some of them you can't even give away. And you just sunk $30,000 you could have spent. I'd rather have you keep your savings account if you don't know what you're doing. Some of them suck really, really bad. Some of them are just, that is embarrassing that you did that. Yeah, I guess. But some of these houses can change your life. They've changed mine. They've given me a security no one else has given me. They've given me a deed to a house that I own, I could live in if anything ever went really bad. Nothing else has given me that security, especially when you saw during the 2009 what I was living through. If you know what you're doing. Can everyone still hear me? Everybody, can you still hear me? David, Rebecca, Derek, M. Brown, Darnell, Mr. Phillips. Can you guys hear me? Rebecca. There's 31 people watching. George, Marie, Merldy, Ronald Burton, Benjamin. Are you guys all still here? M. Brown, thank you. Yes, you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, good. People thought, George, thank you. It's gambling, says David. Don't do it. We got to be thoughtful. We want to win. All right. Kai 30314. Okay. Good. Monique Gaines. Hey, nice to see you on. Glad you joined. And you guys definitely, we're going to put a link to the replay. You got to see the replay of this if you didn't get the first part, because I think some of you guys just joined. Hey, Benjamin. So people thought it couldn't be done. Hey, J Pass, Raina Gardner. Yes. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I'm dropping some serious truth and knowledge and things that just no one else wants to say but need to be said if we really want to make the change and break through the way I want to make the change and breakthrough happen in this country. But we need to understand what's going on first so we can address it, fix it, and work it for our advantage. Thank you, Ronald. So people thought it couldn't be done. So I polled a lot of my friends, people who'd seen me become successful, and folks who had tried to invest in real estate already. So what do you think are the reasons why someone wouldn't start real estate investing, even though they see others investing, right? So why aren't they starting? And it comes down to the same simple thing: lack of knowledge, not knowing what to do, not having details, fear of not knowing what's going to happen, lack of credit and finance or how to get it, even though they possibly do have it many of the times or can have access to it. A lot of the times they just don't know how to go about getting it in the most logical fashion. What strategy? Analysis paralysis. You're reading so much information and it's still not making sense, right? So many avenues. No lack of knowledge. Mentors, no lack of understanding. No coach that they know of that they can do it with. Fear of making a mistake. Let's look. Bad credit sometimes. Fear and lack of consistent honesty. Scared. So there's a lot of reasons. They mostly come down to I don't have money to invest. Seems like everyone's trying to take advantage of you being a first timer, which is true. Especially when you're dealing with contractors. They can smell it. They can smell when you're a new investor. A lot of mentors too. A mentor to walk me through step by step. Fear of failure, fear of making a mistake, lack of knowledge or how to. Analysis paralysis. Can you guys relate to all that? Can you guys relate? So let's get into the meat of this. I want you to make money faster. I want you to have less stress. You remember my 10,000 Black investor impact 10,000 Black communities? All of that at the end is to give us less stress, happier marriages, happier homes, happier children. Financial security can do that. You don't need to be rich. You just need financial security. I don't care if it's 2 homes, but you have 2 paid off 30K homes that are bringing you income. You are in a different world. It is a different mindset and it links you to another plateau. So we all want to be like this little itty bitty kitty with cucumbers on our eyes. We need to reach your goals faster. And there are some secrets to winning. So you can create your own. The first secret is this. You can create your own profitable real estate business in 8 weeks if you wanted to, without stress. I've worked with people who left me going, real estate investing is easy, right? Who says that? People who work with me. So that's cool. But you can do it in 8 weeks. I mean, it depends on your timeline. Of course, it's going to change, but at the end of the day, you don't need that much time. Secret number 2, you can do this. You can have your own cash flowing rental property for the lowest prices as long as you do this. And I'll explain that coming up. You don't have to be an expert or seasoned wholesaler or seasoned investor or have 20 houses to have this lifestyle. We're going to teach you how to do that. You can create your own version of a low-cost, profitable real estate investing business in less than 8 weeks. So there's 28.1 million investors created, $9.2 billion industry. 28 million out of 320 million. 28 million investors. In 2011, 1 out of every 3 home sales were by investors. That's a big deal. I got these facts from surveys polled from Memphis Invest, who did a nationwide survey. 1 out of every 3 home sales. We matter. Even though it's like, who are real estate investors? I'm a real estate. What's the profile of a real estate? We matter. We're important to this world. We are important to the economy. Entire financing options has been created for us, okay? You just need to learn how to use them strategically. You see everyone else with the family fortune making all the money. it's your turn. Okay? Because I know I had some envy when I was younger. I was like, I'm too smart to be this poor. So it's our turn now. Okay? So we need to take it. And the one word that'll do this for you, all of these secrets is just gotta have to have a system in place, right? A system. You gotta know what you're doing. Do it thoughtfully. Do it mindfully. And all this started with one book. I love this book. It was the first book I blogged about, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And you all have different things that you took from it. But for me, the main thing that I took was I thought like a poor person, but I didn't know I thought like someone who was poor. Just opening my eyes. And the trick to that was, asking his poor dad. And it's just through storytelling, which I love because, we are of the oral tradition in the African American community. We didn't necessarily have manuscripts. We had the oral tradition. That's why every word, nuance, how we promote it, what intonations we do. It's such a natural way in a story. It's such a natural way for everyone to learn, but especially us. And that's how he did it through his stories of his life experiences, which I learned so much from that stuck with me today, right? It didn't have to be a textbook. And the question was, he asked his poor dad, how can we own that big boat that I've always wanted? His poor dad would just go, that's too expensive. And the conversation was over. But with the same question of rich dad would go, well, if we made this amount of money, we can give a down payment and get financing, and we have to have this credit. So we have this, and then we can make this amount of money by even working extra or saving up this much. So in X amount of months, we could have that boat, and pay for it like this. And the difference was, which I wasn't aware of until that book came, was that when you're poor, you just say that's expensive and you don't think of the how. When you have a rich mindset, you go, everything's abundant. How do we get there? Right? So that was the story that made it click because I realized those conversations happened in our house. There was no, well, how do we get there? Right? Even myself, I didn't even have it. I was like, what? So everything became, how do I get that? How do I still invest with the foreclosure? How do I do it even though I only have 20K? How do I do it so I don't get in the war zone? How do I do this so I don't look foolish? How do I get this done if I only have this much cash, right? And that is where this came from. So thank you, Robert Kiyosaki. You may have changed the Black community forever, and you won't even know it. Through all of us. But just that mindset, or any community, okay? We're all learning in this. So there is a system that could get there for you, and you got to know what you're doing. So I did create one that goes into all of this. Some of you are familiar with it and some of you not. But first part of the system is, which banks do you talk to? Why do you talk to them? And what do you say? Because if you say the wrong thing, you could get laughed out the bank, or they'll look at you funny and make you feel embarrassed, which inhibits your forward momentum. So what do you say to strategically start a relationship with that bank? 2, how to strategically utilize credit cards. No, it's just not getting a credit card. There's so much more than just getting a credit card, but getting the right ones, utilizing it right, getting the right backup ones, and being strategic about it is part of your real estate investing game that you do when you don't have a family fortune, right? The way you talk to the banks are different when you don't have a family fortune. Right? So where do you find that market? What systems can you use to understand that? And that's a systematic thing that you do as well. So this is a visual pictorial for all of you to know. How do you do your market analysis? What do you need to know in the Census Bureau data to know whether or not you should go to this property or not? Right? How do you do that analysis? What really matters? What metrics matter and how easy are they to get? All right? So which actual property should I get and what's the neighborhood analysis like? How do I know what too much crime is? Oh, no, all these sub-30k neighborhoods have crime. Is there certain crime I should be scared of? What about this? Is this okay? Well, there's a system to that as well. And you go by step about which ones you want. So who are going to be my tenants? Lisa, in this neighborhood, I don't know. Is anybody going to pay rent? Yeah, they're going to pay rent. But there's a certain way that you treat, a working class neighborhood, understand the, income they receive and how that needs to relate to your property and the different things that you're going to see typically, and understanding what those typical characteristic traits are and how to adapt to them. Because if you use A-class metrics to, a C or D class neighborhood, well, you're going to set yourself up for failure. and you're going to lose. And you're going to lose the house at a loss because you're not going to get it right. You're going to let someone in who never should have touched your property that you could have easily vetted if you would have known for this particular demographic and subclass or demographic. You need to understand what the reality is and what crosses the line or isn't. You know, how to do this cash flow and deal analysis. Okay. There's some calculators out there that are very complex. Okay. You don't need them. That is too much. And if you listen to them, you're going to be all twisted up because they're calculators that are made from wholesalers, slippers, everything except a rental property owner, honestly. And then how do you utilize local brokerages to find properties no one else can find? I only use the major MLS to find a market. Once I do that, I abandon that. Well, what's a systematic way of doing it so that you can find better deals? And how do you structure it? What do you look for? How do you find this anywhere? It doesn't matter where you are. That's the system that was created as well. So how do you deal with a real estate agent? Because some of you guys are horrible. I'll get more into it later. And it's not ill-intended. You're just new. But like, it helps if you have someone who's been through it because it's a way you talk to these real estate investors. Some people, you know, have a story. They're giving them like this, 3 paragraphs of how they're a good investor and they're looking in this property class range. And I'm like, don't give them too much information. There's a certain way you got to approach this because it's not necessarily economically in their interest to spend that hour with you when they can spend an hour with someone who's going to buy a $300,000 property. You got to understand that, know it, and we scale down from there. So what's the best way to scale down that works? Right? How to deal with contractors because they know when you're a new investor. And when they do things, it's not necessarily that they're ill-intended, but they're going to always set things up better for their business, not yours. And you need to know when they look at you and go, I'm not going to do that for free. If they're being legit or if they're just pulling, blowing smoke so that they can get over. You need to know a systematic way to look at that. What numbers make it too high or too low for when you need to know when they are being legitimate or when they're trying to scam you or just get more money out of you or aren't even a good contractor. And part of the system too, I love is that I put myself in this because what's all this online video tutorials and systems without bouncing ideas and that strategic, well, what about me? What about in my case? I'm different. I do it like this. So that's what it is. So you see everyone else with the trust fund making all the money. Well, now it's your turn. Everyone with family fortunes and having a system matters. And I do want to say that, do you think these opportunities will last forever? Because you don't have to even be on this website to know that people are starting to say, well, in this market or that market, things are, drying up or there's no good properties or I don't know, there's nothing here anymore. So a lot of the times in my Facebook group of the Sub30k, there's 3,800 people in there now, 3,844 last time I checked. And people are like, where is this at? And they're like, oh, this part of Illinois. And I'm like, you don't have to tell everybody where your market is. I'd cool off. You have 3,800 investors. Maybe 70 of them live where you live. We'll jump on that. And all of a sudden, so if you want to set yourself up for success, you don't always have to tell everybody just because they ask where you're investing at. Okay, you don't have to answer that question on the test. Just be mindful. Things are getting tapped out. After all this work and finally purchasing off and paying off these homes, I do have thousands of points to my account each month from the properties I've rented out, and it feels lovely. So this is Airbnb, which is a little bit more active, but it comes from the same place. Some of these properties you can find that are a deal. It's just as much to rent it out on Airbnb as it is to rent it out in person. It's a little bit more active, but it's still part of our rental portfolio. But, this is what pours in, every single month. These are wonderful numbers. And this is for 2 months. And am I wealthy because of this? No. Am I secure because of this? Yes. Am I secure against job loss because of this? Yes. Do I have an asset I can pass on to my family or my little daughter or teach her how to manage? Yes. Am I changing generational legacy and what she'll inherit when she comes through? Yes. So you just need to figure out what you want, but this feels good to me. And once you've nailed the system, you can duplicate it over and over again. So I'm really detailed. So I want to go into every step you need to take to be successful. And remember, stay to the end so you can get that step-by-step freebie. I'm going to post it as soon as I'm done and then start the Q&A. So how did I create these income from these low price rentals, 2 of which are pure cash flowing since they're fully paid off? Before we get into the how, we have to get to the why. So here's my why. So I used to be embarrassed, but this is important. Know your why. My why is my family. My why is to fulfill my destiny. When you're really in tune and doing something financially that not only you're passionate about, not only helps other people, but also financially benefits yourself, that is the trifecta of living a successful, happy life. That's my why. When I meet people, I'm coaching a girl right now, and her why is affordable housing so people can get stability and be treated as respect and finally be able to live the life that they deserve. And she wants to help. I think her number was 100,000 families. 100,000 Black families get stability they never had, and I want to be a part of that. I want to start that revolution. Do you see that? What's your why? Or whatever neighborhood. It could be Hmong, it could be Hispanic, whatever. Who do you want to help? Oh, yeah, I want to make some money too. So if you don't know your why, you'll never have enough intention to get through the inevitable challenges. Or, partying will be more important than your investment. Going out and drinking will be more important than your investments. But when you have a why, when you have, I need the security, or I'm going to protect against job loss, or I got to change the world, or I know I can be the spark to change. When you have that why, you'll get through it. And investing in this price is an amazing way to start for a lot of you. And my secret is this. I always imagined myself constantly being laid off, fired, unhappy with my management, but having to wake up every morning to a job I hate. So I'm grateful for the job and the income, but boy, does it suck the soul out. I was so checked out at work. That was my coping mechanism. Checked out. Bye. Check, please. Right? But how is that every day? Was it fair to my bosses? Was it fair to me? But it was the only way you can cope sometimes when you're earning a paycheck, which we all need, but you're doing something that, isn't aligned with what you're really here for. And then I would always imagine, I have a good imagination, I'm a bit of a daydreamer. I would always imagine myself spending the day as I wanted to travel, not working if I didn't want to, but working a little bit and choosing who I wanted to spend time with. I go, hey, if there's a hurricane that happens or a natural disaster, you go to Florida or Texas to help out for 4 days, right? Because you have that time and freedom, because at the end of the day, we all just want to help. Every single one of you guys still watching, you just want to help. We all do. And when you give someone else your time, you can't. And I just want to tell you guys something I've learned personally. When I was in corporate America, women would always talk, can you have it all? And in corporate America, the answer was no, not in corporate America. Can you have it all? No. But when I started doing my own business, that was the first time you could have it all. You could have your lifestyle. You could have your dream. You could have your relaxation or time to yourself and happiness and a husband and a family on your terms. So this is bigger sometimes than just, some money. This is like literally a way to have it all. And half of all millionaires get there through real estate investing. You can get it through a way that matters and gives you long-term return on investments and stability. So I want you to write down, if you don't invest in sub-30K real estate, blank will happen. What'll happen? Will all the inventory be gone and you'll be left with houses that no one wants to touch? Will things run out? Will you have to buy something that's $200,000? So your $40,000 just a down payment to make $200 a month if you finally get in real estate investing, right? What's going to happen? So when you do invest in real estate, sub-30K real estate, what blank will happen? So what is that? I'll finally own an asset. I'll finally have properties. I'll finally be a real estate investor. I'll be building on and building and building to get to a freedom lifestyle. So what will happen? Will I be starting at such a small incremental place? It's a great place for a new investor to start. So I want your experience. So experience with the first property can be like this. But next property, we need to be like this, right? And this is my idea for you. Just from A to money. So things are real clear right now? Lola, are things clear? This YouTube live presentations you just always have to keep checking to make sure. All right. You don't have to be an expert or even a seasoned investor to be a successful real estate investor. And why not? You don't need it if you have the right systems and guidance, right? So you don't need it because someone else has already did the work for you, and the pain and the torture and the system and the heavy lifting and the thinking and the strategy. I've done that. You've been listening to me. You're here because you like me. You're here because you trust me. You're here because you think I know what I'm talking about, and I do. I help people with this every single day. I knew what I was doing when I started 3 years ago. I know what I'm doing now times 100 because I talk real estate every single day with people all over the country. I know what we do in New Jersey. I know the differences in Pennsylvania versus Texas. You got to be careful in Texas because the laws are a little interesting and they're more strict to the mortgage and refinancing process, you know, versus Florida versus Georgia. So that's why you don't need to be successful. You just need to know what you're doing or be able to trust someone who has a system that does. That's what you need. That's the easiest way to do that. Stop wasting your time unless you just have a lot of money and time to waste learning for yourself. Some people do, but a lot of you guys are working a few jobs. You have a family. You don't have that much time to bumble around. So you might be going, hey, I'm a newbie, right? But don't worry about that. We got you. All right, don't worry about being a newbie. Everyone's a newbie. So it's a newbie who learns through trial and error and pays for everything with experience because, hey, I got a house I thought would make this rent, but it don't. Or, hey, I bought a house, but the tenant I thought was okay, but found out this, and I could have prevented it, but now I'm in rent court for 3 months. Hey, I thought it was this, but I didn't understand how to look at a house, or I didn't get an inspection, and now there's $50,000 worth of repairs. So you might have that sort of money to figure this out yourself. But at the end of the day, there's all sorts of sub-30K rentals all over the country. I help people all over the country every day. You got condos. The previous pictures were houses. They look different. Just depends on what city they're in. Sub-30K condos. You got multifamily. Someone just posted in our Facebook group. Lovely 26-year-old couple. You remember my 10,000 Black investors? Well, now we're 202. Okay. So, this was a couple, they're 26, bought their first 4 unit. They'll live in one. The other 3 will pay for it. Amazing. Generational wealth. Communities. Boom. We are breaking through. Okay. So this works. Let's do this as peacefully as possible. We have 30K mobile homes with land. You just need a system to do this right without losing money, without choosing the wrong property in the wrong neighborhood. It happens every day. It's a little embarrassing. So think these opportunities will last forever? The time is now. These are historically low prices. The sub-30K has caught fire. I've done this for about 4 years, so my video's been out in the world. There's some people who are like, oh, did you hear about sub-30K investing? Yeah, you do this with a credit card, and you do it when you refinance your car. They act like they thought it up, but I got receipts. I can show you I did it. But it's caught fire. It wasn't that the point of that wasn't just to go, hey, I thought it up and everyone's biting me. The point is to go, it's big now. People who are ignoring it are not. People who were told to not do it, and a lot of you were told not, everyone was told not to do it, are finding out that they can. And they just want to do it the fastest, easiest way possible. So one of my houses had a 40% appreciation. Prices are going up and inventory shrinking. It just is what it is. I know it, you know it, and so do people in my Facebook group. I've helped people get their first cash flow and rental properties for the least amount of money and the least amount of stress. Very proud of that. So here's Darlene. She actually took my course, the Sub-30K rental income system, and mixed with it with coaching. She's amazing. We talked on the phone. She's like, look, I got the system. I have a few questions. Da, 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 da. We knocked it out. We got it down. She went to Florida and she's like, boom, bang. And I think she's on her second. But you're talking $800 a month every month for like the last 3 years for $25,000. What? No, she didn't just find that. She didn't just go, oh, I just found it. No, she took a system, implemented it, and it works. So thank you, Darlene. She's still in there, and hopefully everything's okay with the hurricanes we had in Florida being hit. But, that's the start. So Steve, just got his sub-30K property. Talked to Steve on the phone as well about his investment strategy and what we were doing. So these are real people. We work the system. We work together. This is Chris Ninjo. He got his first property financed. He's seeing that not only did he get good, but the equity is in the air because everyone's going into the neighborhood after him. So he's glad because he's like, whew, glad I got in, right? This is Mr. Vasquez. And this is Dana, one of the first people I coached. She was like, hey, Lisa, I decided to use your services because I felt you were sincere. I felt relatable to you until I found your videos. I didn't trust anyone. You can trust me. I'm good. I'm not in it for anything other than to give you the right information that you need. You gave accurate advice and told me things even when it wasn't pretty. He told me the truth and it got me going. I got my properties and I'm so happy and grateful. So this should be exciting. And I want to ask you, who's tired of not making money in real estate investing? Right? Who'd like a full 100% no secrets look at exactly how to invest in these properties without making any big mistakes? So I'm talking, you need every system, finding the right funding. What do you lay down? How do you talk to agents, selecting different markets and neighborhoods? Don't go wrong on this. So many people do, and they call me up going, hey, is this a good deal or not? And I'm like, it depends. Do you have, what are the rents? What are this? What are that? What are that? They don't know. I'm like, that's not an investment. I don't know what you're doing. Acting a fool. So step one, how do you talk to the banks? Because I know when I went into the banks, it wasn't always a smooth deal. Sometimes you're talking to banks and they were a waste of time. And there's so much legwork you can do on the phone before you even get there. Why waste your time? You need to know exactly what to ask them, what to say before you even go forward with them. And you need to know how to say it so you come off as a seasoned investor. Yes, appearances matter. In businesses, it does. So you can ask curious questions, but you got to know what they're looking for so you know how to address what they need so you can get what you need. And also how to uncover other items that you have for money. So many people are surprised where money can come from because they're given advice that just doesn't always make sense. But we can thoughtfully and strategically look at all your assets and figure out where you can have more money for this. And that's a beautiful thing too, when you have it just sitting in front of you, you don't even realize. So the second step is finding the perfect market. So this is step by step, right? So do you have to go out of state? A lot of you guys are posting, oh, there's nothing here in Florida. I gotta go out of state. You don't. Like, what are you talking? No, you don't. There is a strategy to go step by step to learn exactly where the houses are that are easy to do. It's systematic, and if you don't do it, you're going to be going out of state or buying from a a turnkey property that gets $100 a month, and it's like, why purchase it? That game isn't for you to make $100 a month. If you're working with me, we're getting $350 to $400 plus a month. That's the minimum, and a lot of my clients get $1,000. It just is what it is. So I'm lifting my eyebrows because you can keep up worrying and going, oh, I don't know what to do. But like, you don't have to go out of state. There is a system, no matter where you are in this country, to figure out exactly where your property is and how to do it. So market analysis and urban geography, how does that play a role? What do you look for? What do you care about? And police data, what are the multiple sources? Everyone heard about crime reports, but that one's not as good. What do you do if there is no internet source? How can you still get it without having to physically go there? You got to know that as well. There's systems to do that in all the cities. So there's this checklist for every single city, regardless of where you're at, of how to get this information from the comfort of your own home. How to find the perfect cash flowing property, how to do a block analysis, a neighborhood analysis, what tools you can use that people aren't using anymore or don't know about to get that view, and what metrics to hit. Because if you don't, I've had people get properties where the property manager who sold it to them were crooks, which I could have told them about if they would have taken the system. But when they got another property manager, they weren't even comfortable going down there. So things fell through the cracks and then they had to sell it at a loss. It's horrible. Right? Who wants to be in that situation? So there is a way to do it so that your property manager is not scared to go down there. And if you don't do it, you'll be looking real foolish. It's just a sad story. And we don't want you to be a sad story. We want you to be a happy story. So it's a sensible deal analysis. In this price range, there are minimums that you should hit before you even consider doing it. That's step 4. Step 5, finding an agent that works with your price range. How do you talk to them? What do you say? Do you say too much or too little? Hint, don't tell them everything. You just need to tell them bare minimum. All right. And there's a way to do that so that they're comfortable knowing that they can spend that hour with you and not with a higher paying client, but that they're going to get rewarded. And then they'll put a certain minimums on of how much they need to get paid. And there's certain minimums that are perfectly reasonable. And then there's certain minimums that you should run for. That it's not worth it. So how to inspect a potential rental property. There's a step-by-step way for you to check out everything that's important to the system. So how do you look at a new house and know whether or not you should buy it? There are metrics you can use and notebooks you can take to write it all down. And that's step 6. So step 7, submitting the bid. What does it matter? How do you negotiate? How do you negotiate in a competitive market versus a non-competitive market? There's 2 different strategies for each one, right? Right? This is serious. We're not playing around right now. You need to know this if you want to get the most money out of your investment, right? What to watch out for in the understanding the HUD statement, so you know where you can make money or where you can save or where you can't, right? So there are things you can save money if you know where that line item is, where it's coming from, what to expect from the entire process. So step 8 is all about contractors and not losing money. So how do you find them even if it's in a new city? Look, I've been to 4 different cities that I've invested in. I had to find contractors that were good. I found some bad ones, learned from those mistakes, and now I only find good ones. How do you do that? How do you deal with the contract? What do contracts look like? How do you, what do these contracts look like? All these contracts. How do you divvy it up? How do you do it? Do you pay all at once? Do you pay half? Well, sometimes you do pay half, right? At a certain price point, that's low enough. It's okay to pay half and then the other half later. And then sometimes you have to pay all up front, depends on what the situation is. And other times it's completely not acceptable depending on the price. So what are those lines and limits? There is system to do that so that you're always making the best decision, not only for your pocketbook and protecting your risk and your investments, but for them as well. So you know how to talk to them and counter in an intelligent way, not in a newbie way where they might go, it's not worth my time. Because remember, these are mom and pops. These aren't professional like huge organizations, because you usually can't afford them. You're doing the mom and pops. When you're doing the mom and pops, it's a people game, so you have to negotiate better or know how to counter in a way that's fair for both of you. So step 9, how do you incorporate property management? How do you find them? How do you vet them? How do you not get crooks? There's crooks everywhere, and there's some great people, right? I've had experience with both, right? And now all my property management, they're great, but you had to learn exactly how to vet them and what to say to them in order to get to that, because there is a certain way. And, I have just as many people who have these crooks, and we take property management in consideration at the very beginning. We don't do it throughout the whole entire process, especially when I'm coaching with people. This isn't a side note. And if you treat it like that, you're going to get stuck with the results, and it's going to be really sad and unfortunate. So the secret to Sub30k riddle selection is different than the average, what the importance is and how you need to do it, and what the metrics are that you can't be too harsh on, or else you're not going to get anybody and it's going to stay there empty. But what you can't forgive on, or else you won't get any money and you'll be in rent court all the time. So, and stressed. And who needs that, right? Because you don't have to have a stress. Who says that your investing has to be stressful? Who says that? Who says that it has to be full of stress and strain? It doesn't. So how do you structure your REI business? How to structure your business entity, protect your assets? And we even go further into that because I have spoken with a lot of lawyers who have come on board, and they've given a lot of value. I have learned a lot of things from lawyers for protecting your assets. So, and lifetime of bonuses, right? So that is really good too. Because everyone's learning. The reason I'm still relevant is because I talk real estate investing every day. I'm helping people every day. There's not too many challenges that people all over the country I worked with that they've had that we haven't figured out. And so that gets channeled down into training that I'm consistently always doing to stay relevant. And you'll see they're relevant as things change because there's updates that need to happen. So that's a good system too to have. So everything you need to know, lifetime access. This is Siobhan. Siobhan actually took a course of mine. She was one of the first ones. She said it was very helpful, gained a wealth of knowledge. It pushed her to get started. So I think this is 204th Black investor to impact the Black community. So my belt's good. And she loves my locks, which thank you. And she's had a great time doing this. Michelle just sent me this about a week ago. She came to my retreat. She was in the picture that I had, and she was just so grateful for the knowledge and getting to know everyone. She's like, this is life-changing. This has changed my life. Not only because she did it, but because she was so comfortable and secure doing it. And that could be you. Like, that doesn't have to just be Michelle Soto or Portia, who just thought this was excellent, and how to get started with minimal funds. It helped with that. And listening to a lot of real estate podcasts, Portia was like, yours is the best. She's in our Facebook group under Rachel Carter, and you might see her pop in every now and then because she's killing it in Georgia. And she loved it because she was like, this system was very natural and very helpful. But she's a satisfied customer, would not hesitate to purchase anything else, but she's killing it right now. So we did our job. And she is actually has her own transformational job business down in Georgia if you guys ever want to check it out. So if you do, you can go to fearlessvixen.com. So thank you guys so much for staying so long. We're almost to the bonuses, and then I'm going to give you the website so that you can see, get that freebie, that sort of step-by-step with the whole system and what you need to do. It's 12 steps to your first property. So it'll be 100%. So I'd like to tell you about the Sub30k rental, the step-by-step system I'm telling you about that can get you all of this. It's 100% access to affordable real estate training course at $8,997 value. You want to stay to the end because this is going to be a fun way that we can work together. Again, who would like this? So, so who's all out there right now? You guys doing good? Okay, just had to make sure everyone was still on. All right, bonus number 1, you get access to the training course system that I just told you about. But that's not it. You guys gotta wait. There's more. I mentioned there was me in here, so you guys gotta wait to see that. Bonus number 1, if you do it, is you get to the Sub30k private. Thank you, George. You're still here. Sub30k private video collection. It's a $2,497 value. Hey, M. Brown, thank you so much. Right? $2,497 value. That's included. So that's a total value of $11,494, and it's worth it. 100%. Trust me. I don't say that lightly, but people literally leave me going, so real estate investing is easy. Who does that? Right? Bonus number 2 with the system is you get 1 hour private coaching. It's $997 value. Trust Darlene, I think, just had a couple, and she was able to get hers and personalize it for her situation. So it's very valuable. Seeing as how she's still making $800 a month off that 25K property I helped her get, I think she's more than earned back what she invested. So that's a $997 value. I gave the system to some friends. If you look, the first one's Dr. Kenyon. I think he's on house number 5. Another one was Steven. He's on house number 7. This is serious, people. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be forever, but impacts are being changed. I'll put this at 206 and 207 people I've helped. All right, not just going up. What you get in the Sub30 course member. So you get the full rental income system at $8,997. The Sub30k private video collection, 46 plus video at $2,497, and it's worth it. One-on-one coaching for $997 for a total value of $12,491. But there's more. You get access to lifetime updates and new training at $2,497, right? But we're not done, guys. Access to lifetime training and updates. So as a real estate for a lifetime, things are going to change with the Sub30k market. And you really want to work with someone who's talking to people every single day. Just had an hour conversation with a girl out of California who's investing in Georgia. Not going to tell you what the market is. You can find your own because I like to keep it close to me and my, give them the system, let them find it. Access to lifetime updates, and that's a big deal. So that's $2,497 for a total value of $14,988. Completely worth it. Hey, Raina, glad you're still here. This is gonna be fun, right? And this, I love this one. I have been in my monthly membership program. Some of you are in it, some of you are not. I do Ask the Professional series. Lawyers, CPAs, the next one's gonna be contractors, the next one's gonna be self-directed. All people who are really serious. And we do these Ask the Professionals. And so we've talked so much to all these lawyers and doctors or lawyers and CPAs about, can I deduct all this investment training before I actually get a rental income? How do I protect my asset? I learned something about you creating an LLC just to take the equity out of your properties, even if it's in your name, how you can structure it so that you can strip the equity out so that you are still protected if someone wants to look at your assets. Did you know you can do that? There are so many things that you can do to protect yourself, even if you put your property in your own name and have a business. If you structure a property, just learned this on the phone yesterday. It was amazing. I also learned about splitting income, paying yourself, how to protect your income. Amazing lawyers, amazing information. It's money you've never paid because it's $300 to $500 to talk to these people that I've paid, right? That you've never going to pay, that I was able to get access to because I have this platform and people want to be a part of this community. That is amazing. So I put that at $3,497 value. Trust me, you're going to learn things you never learned before. It's the best of Ask Professional series. So all of your LLC business structure and questions answered, which is great. That's a total. So the full system at $8,997 value, Sub30k video collection, 46 plus videos at $2,497 value, completely worth it. One-on-one private coaching at $997 value. Trust me, you'll make it 10 times over in the first year. Lifetime access to updates, $2,497 for someone who's talking real estate every single day, on the phone every single day is doing it. Best of Ask Professional series, lawyer, CPA. Actually, I just had this at the 3 top ones. I'm going to add 4 because yesterday we talked to a woman who was dynamite, and I'm bringing her back. So we're going to have more from her because she knows how to protect an asset and structure your business, even if it's in your name, the right way, in a way that you can't with 25 years of experience. So you get all that at $18,485. And as I continue to do these trainings, you'll get more and more and more because that's just how I roll to make sure it's valuable. So bonus 5 is a fast action bonus. This is a fun one. You get 1 free ticket to a live 2-day workshop or retreat. These are worth $1,500 to $2,500. They are very high value. You get what you want from it. The way I do my retreats, I wine and dine you. That's how I was. When I did retreats, people did that to me, so I do that to others. I mean, so, breakfast, lunch on me, dinner, limo rides. We do it all. It's really nice. And so I make you comfortable so you can just talk real estate investing, talk business. We nurture each other. We love each other at the end. I think sometimes they love each other more than they love me, right? Which is the funny part. Sometimes they love each other more than they love me when they meet, just because when you see people at different stages of the game, I got 6, I got 10, I got this many, this is how he did it. You start getting real tangible evidence, and all that collective means you get to bust off of 9 different people. So you get a fast action bonus valued at $12,997 to a live 2-day workshop or retreat. Okay, I love this one. Face to face. That's why I like doing it. All this is good. I love the live, but face to face is even better. Right? So what do you get? All of this. And I'm so geeked off of this one. The full Sub30k rental income system. Yes. Private video collection, 46 plus videos worth $2,497. Yes. And it's worth it. Trust me. There's some people listen to that system and they have purchased 7 properties off of that alone, let alone the full income system. One-on-one private coaching. So you have me involved to personalize it for you because I work with investors all over. So you're different and your strategy needs to reflect that. No cookie cutter advice. $997 value. Lifetime updates and access to the course. $2,497 value. Best of Ask Professional series. It was 3, but now there's going to be 4. Probably next week there's going to be 5. When I get dynamite, awesome guests, you're going to benefit because this is my signature program that I really care about to help the most people. $3,497 value. Free ticket to a 2-day live event. Yes. $12,997 so we can meet face to face. Fast action bonus. Total value $31,482. I love the chance to meet all of you guys. Bonus number 6 is 9 weeks of group coaching. So I want it to really make an impact, right? I want it to really make a difference with your investment. So can I just give you some video tutorials and leave you? Yeah, but I know the difference for you is when we can personalize your investment every single week, talk to you about what you're finding on the ground, your situation, your challenges, and apply all the challenges we've learned from everywhere else to your situation, is when you leave going real estate investing's easy. So this is another bonus. 9 weeks. It used to be 4 weeks. I raised it to 9 because I was like, I know I can get you results 9 weeks of group coaching. I just know it. So it's going to be more structured. I'm going to lead you through more exercises that you may have thought you didn't need, business structuring information, all of that stuff so that you are enabled. I mean, powerhouse. There is a lot of thought power between all the people who have come and talked to us versus what I know versus what other people have input into the system. So this is huge. 9 weeks to work with you. I love it. I love it. All right. So think about this for a second. What are just 3 months of rent's worth to you? 6 months at $900. 6 months, okay? $5,400. An asset you can pay off in 3 to 5 years that gives you equity, that builds your wealth, which creates your legacy, which gains you respect if you do it right, if you have the right system. Would it make sense for me to charge $3,500 for this course? Absolutely. I knew a guy who I worked with, he bought a Then Merle course. It was a binder this big, full of typewriter. Who wants to read a binder full of paper? Right? No interaction, no one-on-one, no one to help you, no one to talk about your personal situation and your money situation and your markets and what you're doing. No, none of that. That's what you've been given in the past. It's a big old binder. I'm not reading that crap. $3,500 for that. Okay? So just what you get with my course and the 2-day live events and this and that and the 9 weeks of coaching, because I'm helping you. If you're serious, I will help you. You get the rents for $600. So say you get rents for 6 months at $900, $5,400. The Sub30k rental income system is $3,500, right? Your profit $1,900, right? So that's a $1,900 profit in 6 months. Over a year, say 12 months at $900, $9,600. That's very easy to do if you're using my system and my method, not someone else's. Your rental income system at $3,500, your profit could be $6,100 over the year. That's a complete, at least 100% ROI at the end of the year for you. So if you really, so even if you're not good at all, trust me, with this system, you'll do great. And I've had people who, if I did not work with them, it would have been very sad. But I did. I was happy because I saved them a lot of money. And I'm happy I have another notch, 207. To put in my belt over people I've directly helped do this the right way, whose life I'm changing towards that goal of 10,000 Black investor, helping out 10,000 Black communities, right? So if all this did for you was find out to seamlessly get a bomb AF rental property that makes a difference to your goal, to your passion, to your calling, allow your woman to invest your success business venture in lightning speed quickly, with all the support that you need, and be financially free most of all, or secure. You can see why it's a brilliant deal at $3,500. So the full system, which I love, is the Sub30k rental income system. Thanks for staying with me. At $8,997 value, worth it, trust me. Sub30k private video collection, 46 plus videos. What? People have purchased 7 properties off that alone. What? $2,497 value. Give me some of those properties back. 101 private coaching at $997 to personalize your strategy. Best of Ask the Professional series, lawyers and CPAs, $3,497. You're going to learn terms you've never even heard of. Trust me, that are brilliant, that are worth thousands, that I just learned yesterday that I'm putting in that system for you. Okay? And there's only one person on the phone who heard it. It's going to be great. So free access to live 2-day workshop or retreat. I'm doing all these live events I have right now. In the next week, you'll see the dates, but I have my private residence I do a retreat. We have Miami, we have New York, we have Atlanta, and we have DC coming up over the next 12 months. All of those places you can come visit. And in between those, I might have another retreat at my own property. Okay, I'm going to do all that because I love these face-to-face. I love these small, intimate groups. I love getting into your business, personalizing your strategy, and learning from everyone else. It's an amazing time. And during all of those, I always have like a professional lawyer that I've developed, one of these professionals that I develop a rapport with, come and answer your questions for 90 minutes straight. So this is a big deal, these 2-day retreats. In addition to me whining and dining you like your VIP superstar. 9 weeks of group coaching to go over your system and tailor it for you. This is an amazing, it's just something I did because I wanted to help. And 9 weeks was enough time where I know you got the value and I was able to help you. And we can get you to the finish line. I need 207, 208, 209, 210 investors I helped in our communities not only get their own financial security, but help someone else's, right? So all of this, the value is $897 for the course, $24.97 for the video collection, $12,997 for the free day 2 workshop, 9 weeks of coaching, $6,997. Total value, $35,982. It's worth it. Definitely. So I want to make this a no-brainer for you. Your success is my driver. One more notch, changing your life. One more person whose life changes, one more person towards that big goal of creating absolute happiness across this country in a way, and a shift in generational wealth and poverty and the Black community that has not been seen before. But doing it the right way, because it doesn't have to be a struggle if you know what you're doing and have the right system. And I care about your results, which is why I loaded it with just so much access to the coaching. That's 4 years of coaching you get access to, 4 years of strategies, and all over the country. So I want to set you up for success. So you can see why it's a good deal at $3,500, and that's completely worth it. But I decided to go a bit crazy and give you us all the way at $24.97 for the general public. But because you're special and you stayed here for an hour, thank you. You get started for a low price of just $19. Nope, $14.97. So $1,497 today. So I'm going to be honest, I had a couple of choices. Keep this close to my chest. Don't show anybody. Just my coaching clients, very high-level coaching clients who get this access now, and not tell you how to do it, or create a system that can access everyone, but incorporate enough coaching and mental one-on-one touches so we're seeing people face-to-face, and I'm really supporting you in a way that no one else is doing, and assist people like you. And I decided on the latter. So this is a big deal, and I made this. I really opened up the floodgates. So you can make your choices. Do nothing. Enjoy this webinar. Get your freebie. You're welcome. Or pony up the small investment compared to the huge value and the personal touches that no one else out there is doing, and go forward. So if you sign up today, my personal guarantee is if you follow the course to a T and don't get results, just let me know and I'll give you your money back. I'm 100% confident that if you do what I tell you, you will succeed. It just works. Other opportunities can take you 3 to 5 years to get your initial investment back. With this, you can 2x it in 2 months, depending on what the property value is. So you have 2 people. You have Layabout Doug, right? And Layabout Doug's not doing too much except reading more online articles on real estate investing. Or you can be Get It Done Rita, because Get It Done Rita doesn't play. So now you get started for what? $14.97, which I love. I love this program. Warning, I'll be raising the price of the sub-30k rental income system to $3,000 in the coming weeks. I don't say that lightly. I'm not joking. Any of you guys who've been with me know the value's there, and I mean it when I say that. So would that be worth it? If we were offered this course at the beginning of my investing career, I would have kicked myself for not buying it. But no one was really putting it out there like this, where it was just so step by step, and 9 weeks of coaching, and I get to come to meet with them for 2. No one was doing that. If they would have, my life would have been so much easier. I would have taken that road. Okay, just no one was. The opportunity wasn't presented, and no one just give you that much attention or time or one-on-one to scale it so you can ask those questions. So I'm dead serious. I had to learn it all. I had to create these systems. So that's good for you because I'm putting it out there. So the networking I did, the researching I did, doing the right people, stressing, the FOMO, the crying, the worry, the stress, right? All you have to do is follow the steps. It's better. So you get started for $14.97. That's the deal. You get all $35,982 worth of value for $14.97. Now, these fast action bonuses are if you sign up to work together in the next 24 hours as a countdown timer. After that, it's just all these other awesome benefits. But if you've always wanted to work together, and the reason you've been on this call for this long is because you know it's time to get something done with someone you trust, I'm more than happy to do that for you. So Lola, I would like you to post so now we're going to go into questions. Lola, I'd like you to post in the comment section on YouTube. So go to YouTube and watch the live stream if you want to see this, how they can get access to the freebie. I promise the step-by-step system, please. So if you can go ahead and do that. All right. And let me open it up for questions. I was telling Lola to post it in the comments. So what questions do we have? Money is an issue. So M. Brown is saying money is an issue. Is it better to have money or credit? Both, just strategic. Money, credit, business credit. And how to go about getting that the easiest, fastest way. That's what M. Brown asked. Money is an issue. Is it better? What other questions are there? Hey, Lola, if you want to put the link to the freebie I offered down at the bottom now and refresh, you can go ahead and do that. Any other questions? 21 of you guys left. Thank you so much. I know there's a bit of a delay, so I'm sort of waiting. I'm watching on the screen, and it's like 3 minutes back, so. Can you find homes for $30,000 without them being in an auction? Yep, that's easy. Thank you, David. Hey, Florence, you just found out how to use the chat? Well, you got it, girl. Hey, when you purchase, M. Brown asked, when you purchase out of state, how do you find reputable contractors to fix up your property? Well, the how is in the course, but the what you're looking for is contractors who actually care about the reputation, and finding that can be a little can be very strategic. So you care about how they're going to handle how they care about their online reputation, because the way you're going to deal with them and talk to them, you're going to have things that in place so that they know if things don't go right, it's not just going to be your word, that you can really damage them. So there's systems you're going to put in place to make sure that you're always holding the keys to those reputations. And how do you go about doing that? So that's what you'll do. And the system goes into that in detail. Do you finance the houses afterwards to get your cash out? You can, yeah, but you got to be strategic. Some houses are really set up for appreciation and others aren't. So as you do your real estate investing, you really got to have an eye towards which one is which also makes the question, which one do you put in an LLC or not, is based off of their criteria. And then able to do it again? Yeah, you can do it as much as possible, but it depends. There's minimum standards that need to be met for that. And for the most part, this isn't in the course, but this would be a part of the coaching. For the most part, if it's too low, you're not going to find too many people who want to take equity out. So you're going to have to be mindful of that, what you're purchasing and what the total after resale value is. And we have to go into that on a case-by-case basis. I'm in California, also in law school. Is this feasible or should I wait? A black man, by the way. Don't mind the avatar. How do you have that avatar then? Okay. JPass. It depends on a couple things. How much time do you have available to work on this? How much cash do you have available? Right? So if you have time and you have the cash, there's no reason law schools to do that. But if you don't have time to do this, then no. Does that make sense? The time's going to be the factor for you more so than another person, where it might be cash. The fact that you're in California does not matter. Half the people I work with are in California, and we find it pretty easy to get them up and running without having to turn to a turnkey operator where they don't get that much for return. David's like, Dave has us all good. I'm Asian, but my screen name is Mexican. He used to have a cat named Maxie. That's funny, David. I didn't even know who David was. Any other questions? I like this part. Okay. Monique Gaines, how much cash you need to start? I like for people, it depends really, but if you're a high cash flowing individual, you don't necessarily like say high cash flowing individual, meaning for your real job, you can save $1,500 a month, right? And there's some people you don't have to be rich for that. You can make $15,000. I knew a girl who worked 2 jobs and they were like $13 an hour, but the way she lived was so frugal and so cheap that she saved $1,500 to $2,000 a month, right? So when you're saving that much money, you have a little bit leeway. Don't necessarily need a ton of cash up front, right? So I like for people to have a $15,000, but you squeak by with $10,000 if you have a high cash flowing job. So if something does come up, it's really easy for you to like put it on a credit card or pay for it through cash, or pay for it on a credit card and pay it off. It's like if it's a little pricey, right? But if you're very low cash flowing, you can only save $300-$400 at a time. Well, you just need $15,000 to $20,000 for a property because you just don't have that much bandwidth. And using credit cards, okay, but you have to be able to get out of credit cards because these interest rates are 22%, which is assuming that you're not carrying a balance. So if you're carrying a balance, you need to have a backup plan, right? And if you're only bumping together $300, $400 a month, you don't have a backup plan. You bump together $1,500, you can pay something off really quickly if you had to use it in a pinch. So it just depends on how slim your margins is, how much you need to start off, because these things are going to come up. Unless you buy the house new, these things do come up. And even then, things come up, all right? And so depending on your cash flow margins, you need to have a little bit more banking on for what's going to happen and how to utilize all the resources around correctly. JPass time-wise, sorry, bro, but you need time to dedicate to this. Otherwise, the only other option is to like go a turnkey provider. You're not going to get much return on investment. And I don't know if you have $500,000 where you want to make like $100 a month just to get in the game. But if you're looking for really serious cash, you have to do it yourself and you got to get the time. So when you get that time cleared up, let's go. So Florence, what do you think is the minimum amount of money we should have to get started? I think I just answered. So it's 10 to 15,000, 15 to 20 if you don't have much leeway in your cash. I like 15 as a good start. Oh, sorry, Florence. You asked that question right after Monique, so I guess you didn't see it. Any other questions, guys? You guys waited all the way to the end. I'm proud of you. Thank you. So who's going to work with me and come to one of these 2-day events and 9 weeks of coaching? Any other questions, guys? Thank you, Florence. Thank you, Monique. Any other questions? I know there's a slight delay. Hopefully I get to see one of you guys in Miami. Is slated for February 3rd and 4th. I'm booking that place, but I have to call and make sure that they're ready because of Hurricane Irma. But yeah, So sorry, I got distracted looking at all the comments. But yeah, so Miami is on the map already, and I just found places. I had to look up really hard to find the perfect place for the DC New York event. So the private retreat that's coming up in November, there's only 3 spots left. I got there's Monica, Judy's coming. Um, who else? Bobby. I guess this might be a girls' night, which I'm cool with. I think women have a different energy, and sometimes it's nice a room full energy. How many doors a day would you say? How many hours a day would you say is required? Um, 1 to 2, and there's going to be more time required at different stages. It's going to come in stages where it's like, oh, you're working on it for 3 hours for like 3 days straight. But then one to two is more normal when you're not. The heavier times are going to be where you're looking for your markets, because if you do the right markets, everything lines up. And the other heavy time will be when you are renovating it, and you'll have to just do a lot of phone calls. It won't necessarily be hard, but you have to be consistent with getting things lined up so it's renovated as soon as possible. So 1 to 2. At times when it's going to be rushed, about 3 hours a day for like a week at a time, maybe 2. Rena, that's helpful. How do you overcome your fear of investing? I think there's 2 ways to overcome it, David. Um, and there's 2 ways to do it. There's one way is just to go, I have money to burn and I have time. So if you have money to burn and time, not that you have it to burn, but maybe you're sitting on 30K and it's easy for you to get another 30K. And I've met people like that, like engineers or doctors who have like, a lot of cash, and they're like, okay, worst case scenario, I lose all this money, but I can make my money again. I can lose $30,000, but I can make it again. And there are some people like that, and they jump in. Or they just have a good financial background where they have a financial income where they can get it, and they're okay with, even if I lose all of it, I'm still okay. This is only a portion of what I have. I think is the best way to understand, like compartmentalize what the worst thing that can happen, and that if you can afford it or not. Like some people can afford to lose 20,000 or 15 on the wrong deal, and other people simply cannot. It's all they have. And when I coach people, I talk to people who are on the phone at $400,000 in their 401k, but you want to know the people I work with are the people with 20,000, because they're like, I can't lose it. I really can't. I have a family, right? So that's one way to get over your fears, is compartmentalize what that loss means to you and looking at your situation. The other part is to work with someone closely who is okay with going, you're going to be different, and let's scale it to you so you can be more flexible and adaptable. So if you're working with someone where it's like, all these things are coming up, but you have someone who does it every day who can walk you through it and have an experienced eye, that's another way to get over those fears, just because it's just going to be so much more easy. But I would say to make sure they're like me, where it's like you're going to be talking to them face to face. You're going to get that one-on-one time. They're going to be supporting you throughout the whole entire process. So just make sure you get that human interaction. Nothing compares to the human mentorship coaching relationship. So regardless, make sure the human interaction is in there and not just a binder full of stuff. I hope that answered it. How'd that answer your question, David? Just looking over at the YouTube comments. I know I'm looking at myself because I'm like 2 minutes behind on the replay, depending on who you're seeing and where I'm seeing the feed at. So it's sort of funny. Do you have any other questions, guys? This is fun. I like it. Give me something. Give me a hard one. I asked for it. All right, guys, I don't see any more questions. So this is going to be out for 24 hours. I'll keep this here on YouTube if you want to watch it again and see the whole presentation. Outside of that, it's going to be disappear. The special is only good for 3 days, then it disappears. Outside of that, it's $24.97 on the website. So please enjoy that. This is a great system. I can't wait to meet all of you guys and work with you. If you've been waiting for a real estate investment coach that you can really trust to really personalize it and scale it for you, this is an amazing opportunity, and I'd love for you to take it to support you. But I also can't wait to meet you in person because I pay for cocktails. So I can't wait to meet you in person at the events or just talk to you every week for the next 9 weeks. So love to be with you at the beginning of your career. And I hope you are entertained and like this hour. Thank you for staying. That's why this is such a great package of benefits for you and your investment, just because you did stay. And so for you staying for an hour, I wanted to give more than enough for you to be more than happy to come and join me. If not, tickets to all of my live events are $14.97 to $24.97. Can't wait to see you guys there if you want to come. They go fast though, so they fill up maybe about a month before the retreat. They're already sold out. Right now we have 3 more spots left for them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leaving open 1. So yeah, we have 3 more spots left for the November retreat if you guys would like to make it. Love to see you all there. All right. Thank you so much. Bye. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're not, watch the replay. Okay. See you later.